So I flew down to Adelaide for AVCON, the anime and video game convention based here, but I also came down for another event, and odds are you might have actually come across it before online.
So speedrunning essentially is people try to play video games as fast as possible with no real limitations. So ASM is sort of an event where people who engage in this hobby come from all over Australia to down in Adelaide to exhibit their skills.
ASM, or the Australian Speedrun Marathon, is similar to events like Games Done Quick based out of the US. ASM has raised money for charity. Since 2016 it's raised over $9,000 actually, and they're raising even more for Beyond Blue this year. Speedrunning itself isn't new or specific to ASM, but what is specific to ASM is what the event itself asks of the runners at ASM.
At ASM it feels a lot more professional, feels like I guess it feels like I'm contributing to something a lot bigger, so I want to be a lot more professional and sort of really think about what I'm doing more.
When you're doing the run, you also have to provide good commentary because you're providing content to an audience that isn't aware of what speedrunning is. And also I have to make sure I keep a filter on instead of being my normal self on my own stream. So on here, it's much more professional.
I think you have to think about, first of all, being able to complete the run, and balancing that with what amazing things you can show off. Some things that might be a bit slower but look a bit fancier, you might put that into the run because that's what's going to entertain people, that's what's going to really draw attention. But also you want those more dangerous things that might be quicker, you might want to tone back on those even though you might have a slower run. You're making sure that your run can actually be the run.
ASM started as just a panel actually out of AVCON, but over time it spun out to be its own event being held here at the Uni of South Australia at the McGill campus. It's grown every single year since 2014, 2015, and with the growth of ASM, the growth for the need for those volunteers, the production volunteers that make it all happen, that grows as well.
We're all here coming from a variety of different places and different sorts of productions, but the skills are obviously transferable to this live stream event, and that has its own little quirks and fun as well. So
definitely quirks.
It's definitely a challenge. The biggest hardships with doing a live stream such as this, like there's a lot of moving parts. We have so many different game consoles and inputs and different things that we need to make sure all work properly without any delay, especially for the runners themselves, because they need to be very, very specific to do their tricks and things like that. Some of them have only got like single frame windows to do things. The main part of this event is to help the runners get the times that they want.
There are a lot of people with different perspectives, of course. The people working at Uni of South Australia are worried about tech and so on and so on. So there's different perspectives, I think, but from my perspective as coordinator, I would say it's about a continuous goal, so to speak, of pushing that community aspect. So we've been really trying to reach out to as many people as possible, get hold of as many subcultures, so to speak, as part of the speedrunning community, because every single game has its own community. So we're trying to reach as many people as possible and get them involved, because there are still a lot of Australians who are just, wait a second, what's ASM?
So I wouldn't really say that I was that involved with the speedrunning community before I actually came to ASM. This is the third time I've come to an ASM event. I'd done a little bit of speedrunning before, but 3 years coming to ASM, it's easy to see how this acts as sort of a catalyst for the Australian speedrunning community and even just the speedrunning community in general.
For me, it makes me feel really proud. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something that other people want to be a part of, and something that I want to be a part of with those other people. Like, you think about the game-specific communities, I think, me and these other people are working towards this one goal in this one thing. But then I guess it's sort of different when I think of the Australian community, because it's sort of like a family almost. Like, I come here with Cameron and all these other guys, and I'm just like, just always feeling the love.
Yeah, everyone here is just fantastic to be around, so I recommend everyone, if they even think about coming, to just jump on board with it.
At the moment where we are, we're still growing, and I want to see us keep growing. But right now you can really see the Australian personality. We have fun with it. We mess around a bit, but we're still working towards that professional level, and we're still just trying to put on a good show. So I think ASM really represents that well.